The courtroom emptied for recess, but Maria stayed seated, staring at the old wooden table where so many lies were once written as truth. Her fingers brushed the deep scratches on its surface, scars left by years of battles fought inside these walls. Daniel, the young lawyer who had stood up for her, walked over with a file in his hands. "You weren't kidding," he said. "This evidence, it's explosive." Maria exhaled. "For years they thought I was gone. They thought fear would silence me. But I've spent every day preparing for this moment." Daniel nodded. "You're strong. Stronger than anyone expected." But Maria's eyes softened as she looked toward the empty judge's chair. "Strength," she said quietly. "I wasn't born with it. I built it out of pain." She remembered nights when she cried alone, mornings when she doubted herself, and times she wanted to give up. But each memory of her father kept her going. A sudden sound broke her thoughts. Footsteps. Maria turned and froze. It was him. The man who had testified against her father. A man whose lies cost an innocent man his life. His face was pale, almost trembling. I heard you reopened the case," he stammered. "I need to talk to you." Daniel stepped forward protectively. "What do you want?" The man swallowed hard. "I want to confess." Maria's heart stopped. "Why now?" she asked. He looked down at his shaking hands. "Because I can't live with what I did anymore. And, because someone powerful told me to keep quiet. Someone inside this court." Maria exchanged a look with Daniel. A new truth was forming. Bigger, darker, more dangerous than she imagined. And now, the walls of silence were finally beginning to crack. The courtroom filled again, tension thicker than ever. Everyone had heard whispers. That Maria brought a witness who could destroy careers. Judge Harrington shifted uneasily, but tried to hide it. "Proceed," he commanded. Maria stood. Her voice was calm, but carried the force of years of buried truth. "I call my witness." Gasps. The man who once accused her father stepped forward, trembling. The prosecution attorneys turned pale. One whispered, "He wasn't supposed to speak." Maria asked, "Tell the court what you told me." He glanced at the judge, then at the lawyers who once protected him, and then he broke down. "I lied," he admitted. "I gave false testimony. Evidence was planted. I was paid to say what they wanted." A wave of shock hit the room. Judge Harrington slammed his gavel. "This is outrageous." Maria stepped forward sharply. "Your Honor, I have the bank transfers, the call logs, and the recordings." She handed them to Daniel, who spread them out for the court. The judge's face drained of color. Lawyers whispered. People from the gallery leaned forward. Daniel addressed the judge. "With this evidence, we now request a full investigation, and a posthumous clearing of Maria's father's name." Silence. Long, heavy. The kind that comes before a storm. Then finally, Judge Harrington lowered his head. His voice, once commanding, was now small. "The court will grant the request." Maria felt the world stop. Years of pain lifted from her chest. Her father's name, finally cleansed. His honor, restored. Tears filled her eyes as Daniel placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You did it," he whispered. "You brought justice home." Maria looked around the courtroom, the place that once crushed her, now bowing to the truth she carried. This was not revenge. This was redemption. For her father. For herself. For everyone who was told their voice didn't matter. Justice is not about winning a fight, it's about refusing to stay silent when the world tells you to give up. Maria proved that even one voice, armed with truth, can take down an entire wall of corruption. Her story reminds us that pain does not make you weak, it transforms you into someone unstoppable. She pushed open the heavy courtroom doors, expecting noise, whispers, maybe even laughter. But instead, Every lawyer, every guard, every clerk went completely silent. Pens froze mid-air. Papers stopped rustling. Even the judge, known for never pausing a hearing for anyone, lowered his glasses and stared. As if he had just seen a ghost walk in. Because no one expected her to return. Not after everything they had done to her. Not after the case that destroyed her family, her name, and her entire future. But she was here now. Not as a victim. Not as a defendant. But as something far more powerful. The one person who could expose the truth they had buried for years. And this time, she wasn't alone. The rain had been heavy the night Maria Khan's life fell apart. She remembered the smell of wet earth, the flashing red lights, and the moment she realized the justice system she trusted was never designed to protect people like her. Maria was once a bright, ambitious law student with dreams of becoming a human rights lawyer. Her father, an honest schoolteacher, used to tell her, "Beta, truth might walk slowly, but it never walks backward." She believed him, until the night he was arrested for a crime he never committed. A robbery. A shooting. A witness statement forged by men with power. Evidence planted with cold precision. Maria, only 22 at the time, tried to fight back. She went to lawyers, officials, anyone who would listen. But the same names kept reappearing. Powerful attorneys, wealthy businessmen, and one influential judge. The more Maria fought, the worse things became. Her father was convicted. Their family home was taken. Maria was threatened, humiliated, silenced. The final blow came when her father died in prison, his last words a whispered apology for things he never did. Maria disappeared after that. Everyone assumed she broke. Some said she fled the country. Others said she went mad from grief. But no one knew the truth. Maria didn't break. She rebuilt. For years she studied, trained, gathered evidence, and prepared for the moment she would return, not with anger, but with undeniable truth. Now, years later, walking toward the courtroom she once feared, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Purpose. And when the doors opened and silence swallowed the room, she realized. They recognized her. Their past was about to catch up with them. The courtroom smelled of old wood and polished floors, but underneath it all Maria sensed something darker, fear. Every lawyer who once mocked her father now stared at her as if the ghosts of their past sins were standing right behind her. Judge Harrington, the man who signed her father's wrongful conviction, shifted uncomfortably in his chair. His voice cracked slightly as he spoke. "Miss Maria Khan. You have returned." Maria walked forward slowly, with the calm confidence of someone who had nothing left to lose. "I'm here," she said softly, "to reopen my father's case." A murmur rippled through the room. One lawyer whispered. "How? That case is closed, buried." Another hissed back. "No, not if she has new evidence." Maria placed a thick file on the judge's desk. Her hands did not shake. Her voice did not stutter. "I have statements from witnesses who were threatened. I have bank transfers proving bribery. I have recordings of conversations your office never wanted the public to hear. And," she added, looking straight into the judge's eyes, "I have the truth." The room froze. The judge leaned back, his face pale. "This is a serious accusation." "No, Your Honor," Maria corrected calmly. "What happened to my father was serious. This is justice." For a moment, no one breathed. Then, from the benches, a young lawyer stood up, a new face, someone who wasn't part of the old system. "I'm willing to represent her," he said. His name was Daniel Brooks, a rising attorney known for taking on impossible cases. Maria turned to him, surprised. "Why would you help me?" He smiled gently. "Because, someone like you shouldn't fight alone." The lawyers who once silenced her father now looked terrified. Because Maria wasn't just back. She had backup. Evidence. And a fire inside her that nothing could put out. The judge cleared his throat. This court will review the evidence. Maria interrupted, for the first time letting her anger show. You can delay. You can hide. But you cannot escape. Not anymore. Silence again. Heavy. Unavoidable. Electric. Everyone in that courtroom knew. This was only the beginning.